Yet, if Elvis Presley were alive, many questions still needed to be answered. It was Monty Nicholson's investigation which started to unravel the mystery.
One of the questions I asked myself while researching the Presley arrangement was, if Elvis did indeed fake his death, how would he support himself? He would need money. 3 facts came to light when I began to research this question. My sources tell me that in March of 1977, a full 3 months before Elvis died, he cashed in 3 life insurance policies for just shy of $2 million. Shortly after his death, fact number 2, there was a checking account, a private checking account, with an excess of $1 million that vanished and has not been explained as yet. Third fact, there's still a remaining insurance policy that is yet to be cashed. What is the significance of this? It's just this. The 3 life insurance policies that were cashed were paid up. There's no fraud involved. Those life insurance policies are owned by the insured. The third policy, or the remaining policy I should say, was not paid up. If a surviving heir would cash in that policy and the person who was insured were still alive, that would be insurance fraud. The checking account I can't explain. It vanished. $1 million vanished. Is Elvis still alive? The feasibility certainly seems to be getting stronger.
Gail Giorgio and others believe that Elvis is alive and well and living in Kalamazoo, Michigan.
There was a newspaper article actually in Kalamazoo right before August 16th of '77, and it said that Elvis visited Kalamazoo incognito. But he had been seen there, and there's been some jokes, you know, Burger King, shopping malls, etc. And people, I don't know if they actually believed it or, you know, it was just a joke or they thought they saw. But what happened was that I had received a telephone call some years ago from a woman who was a nurse at a hospital in New York City. And she said that Muhammad Ali had been a patient there. And while at the hospital, she said a man who looked identical to Elvis Presley visited Ali. Now, most people do realize that Muhammad Ali and Elvis were very, very close friends. They saw each other. He would visit Ali at his training camps and so forth. But there wasn't too much I could do about the information because it wasn't verifiable. Then, I guess a couple of years ago, I received a telephone call and a letter from a woman from Ohio, and she had a copy of the Cincinnati Post, and she said that when Ali was leaving the hospital, it was a UPI story, leaving the hospital, he left with other men. It was on a Thursday night that they had left. And one of the men was Jesse Jackson. There was another unidentified man with Ali, and a 4th man who was captured. And it looks identical to Elvis Presley. The negative to that picture has disappeared, but the picture did appear in the newspaper, and I managed, of course, to get a copy of it. We sent it to experts who do facial analysis and so forth, where they compare it to other pictures of Elvis, and it matched up. They said, you know, they tried to find flaws, but they couldn't. I mean, you know, they measure nose to lips and the whole thing. And so they verified that it was Elvis Presley. And in November of '89, Ali was shown the picture, and he also verified that it was Elvis Presley. It was actually, the picture was even shown to one of the, to Billy Stanley, one of Elvis's stepbrothers, and he verified also that it was Elvis Presley. Now, what's interesting about this, tying this into Kalamazoo, is that Ali lives right outside of Kalamazoo. He lives in Berrien Springs, but he uses the Kalamazoo postmark. It's always stamped on all his envelopes. So therefore, when you put it all together, the sightings begin to make sense.
In 1980, Maria received a tape from another Elvis investigator, Stephen C. Chances. The tape was a recent recording allegedly made by Elvis Presley. Gail Giorgio decided to find out if the recording was authentic.
even though it was called a monologue, it really wasn't. He had been talking over the telephone to somebody, and whoever he was talking to edited themselves out. But I finally contacted a voice authentication expert who works with the government, and he's with a major law enforcement agency in Texas by the name of L.H. Williams.
Gail had sent me a copy of a transcript of the tape recording of the unknown person, and this was 4 pages long. In this process, I also requested copies of known tape recordings of Elvis Presley, and I followed the guidelines that were established during the Watergate case for possible authentication of the tape recording. I selected the same words and phrases of the known and the unknown person for comparison purposes. This is the known sample of Elvis Presley stating the word music. This is a sample from the unknown tape recording showing the word music. The formats that were formed fall within the same frequency range through here, which would indicate a match. Basically, the known voice of Elvis Presley compared with the voice on this tape is the same.
What was said on the tape became even more meaningful to me. The more I listened to it, the more I became aware of how sensitive Elvis was, how caring a person he was. He said things like this.
I started traveling all over the world, and it's been enjoyable, but it's been a constant battle of growing beards and this and that to keep them being recognized. Anyway, the first place that I wanted to see in Germany was a place called Wiesbaden. I don't know whether or not you've ever seen Wiesbaden before, but my girlfriend was with me, and we went to a place to get something to eat. And a waitress there asked me what we'd like to have. And I said, I don't know really, what would you suggest? And she stood still. She just kept staring at me, and I started getting very nervous. At the time, I had a beard and I lost a few pounds, and I thought it would be very, very hard for anyone to recognize me. And then she asked me if I'd ever been to Germany in the past, and then I got more nervous. But she said, you know, I never forget a face. And then she said, I don't know how you did it. She said, I don't care how you did it. She said, I just hope that you're as happy as you've made me tonight.
If this tape was indeed Elvis Presley, it would mean that Elvis had gone back to Germany, the same place where he served in the U.S. Army back in 1958.
Elvis, you don't get out of the Army until 1960. If rock and roll should diminish in popularity or even disappear, what would you do?
Well,